Manchester City scored 5 goals in Portugal, but their hunger was the most impressive. To understand why Manchester City were so good here at the José Alvalade Stadium, one really needed only look at the work that Riyad Mahrez did when Sporting Lisbon had possession. He tracked, he tackled, he cleared, and this is the essence of Pep Guardiola's magnificent side. It is their work rate in and out of possession that sets them apart. Other sides have the skill, but few have the endless hunger seen in Guardiola's players. Bernardo Silva also showed the same application as Mahrez, so did Phil Foden, so did Raheem Sterling, they all did. And when they got possession, they ripped the Portuguese champions apart. The only mercy for Sporting here was that away goals do not count double anymore. They were so outplayed that when VR denied City a Silva effort early in the second half, a Mexican wave almost went off among the Sporting fans. They twirled their green and white scarves, they commendably stayed until the bitter end, they sang defiantly, but the second leg is a formality. City wrapped up the tie here. It is memorable nights like these when the image of City finally becoming champions of Europe comes more into sharper focus. Rarely have they been as ruthless and relentless. There will be far harder assignments to come than this, especially from Premier League opposition, as City discovered against Chelsea last season, but performances such as this simply quickens their belief that they can master this demanding competition. They have the players, the intelligence, the work ethic, and certainly the manager in Guardiola, especially when he eschews his overly clever selections and simply picks his best available 11 as here. It is special evenings like these when City demonstrated their many talents, individual and collective. It was the sight of Foden, utterly nerveless, operating as a false number 9 and taking his first half goal with such confidence and technique, almost brutal in his demolition of marker and goalkeeper. Watching him move with such stealth and shrewdness, playing with such composure and maturity, it is hard to believe Foden is still only 21. Sporting suffered all over. It was the sustained pain that Mahrez, touching his magical best, inflicted on Sporting's left flank. He created, he scored, he tracked back, he contributed in and out of possession, the Guardiola way. It was Silva's finish, a half-volley that acquired even greater stature by crashing in off the reverberating bar. Paulinho shook hands with Silva at the start of the second half, which was one of the few times a Sporting player got to grips with City's elusive number 20. City's winning blend of industry and invention characterized their play all over. There was João Cancelo and Sterling linking at speed down the left. There was John Stones, covering at right back for the suspended Kyle Walker, gliding upfield after intercepting. For 2,500 City fans it was a night to cherish after a day in the sun here in dreamy Lisbon. They chanted, "You're just a shit Benfica," at Sporting, and the hosts were undeniably poor, overawed and soon overwhelmed. Their young head coach, Rúben Amorim, has been earning plenty of plaudits for his work reviving Sporting, including defeating Borussia Dortmund in the group stage, but he was given a lesson here by the master Guardiola. The gap in playing quality was huge, but in tactics and temperament Amorim's men were even more outclassed. It all began with 45 minutes of City dominance, bringing 4 goals in the first half for the 12th time under Guardiola. Their goals were so irresistible in the first half, their finishing so good, that even some of the Sporting fans broke off from jeering Rúben Dias, formerly of Benfica, to applaud the visiting team. City were helped by Sporting's cautious approach. They allowed City to build from the back, and Stones, Dias, Aymeric Laporte and Cancelo threaded passes through to Kevin De Bruyne in the center or to the magical Mahrez on the right. The rout started after 7 minutes. Silva, inevitably, was involved, passing to Foden, whose shot was saved by Antonio Adán. Typically, City were quickest to the loose ball. De Bruyne played the ball back for Mahrez to make it 10 goals in his past 11 appearances in the Champions League. VR checked lengthily for an offside on De Bruyne, but he was on. Mahrez then helped create City's second 10 minutes later, driving in a corner that Rodri headed up. Again City were fastest to respond, this time it was Silva dispatching that half-volley. The goals continued to flow, again with Mahrez playing his part, crossing low from the right. Foden could have snatched at the ball, but he has ice in his veins, and he controlled the ball before slotting it past poor Adán. City's fourth duly arrived a minute before the break. Cancelo combined with Sterling, Sporting froze, and Silva darted in to accept Sterling's cutback. His shot took a generous deflection on its way past Adán, crushing Sporting's spirit further. City made it 5 after 58 minutes, and it was another reminder of Sterling's electric form. His 11th goal in 16 games was one of his best, a right-footed special that gave Adán no chance. There is always talk of Sterling and pastures new, but they are unlikely to be greener. He has a manager who brings the best out of him. He is surrounded by exceptional professionals, and he could be in the most momentous year of his life. The Premier League should be retained. There is the FA Cup to play for. The Champions League opens up while England head to the World Cup as the year closes. At 27, Sterling is at his peak as he showed here. Guardiola was able to rotate in the second half, sending on Ilkay Gundogan and Oleksandr Zinchenko for Foden and Stone. Silva moved through the middle while Cancelo switched to right back. It highlighted again the flexibility among the players. Rodri was then withdrawn, having controlled midfield like a conductor playing his favorite tune. Fernandinho came on and the control remained. Nathan Ake replaced Laporte and the defensive dominance remained. Sporting Lisbon, A. Adán 5, Arrascaio 4, S. Coates 5, G. Inacio 5, P. Porro 6, J. Paulinho 4, M. Nunes 6, M. Reis 5, P. Sarabia 5, Paulinho 5, P. Goncalves 5. Booked Nunes, S. Gao, Ugarte. Manchester City, Ederson 6, J. Stone 6, R. Dias 6, A. Laporte 6, J. Cancelo 6, K. De Bruyne 7, Rodri 6, B. Silva 9, R. Mahrez 8, P. Foden 8, R. Sterling 9. Booked Gundogan,